player matchup. We don't see Lazar be super punishing again. The entire last split, he's really struggled, especially numbers wise. If you watch the game, even more so. But we'll see how SEM9 play out this game. They're of course looking to find a way to break the winless streak as we finally jump into game. It's SEM9, it's BYG, game 1 of day number 2.
And whew, we are on the rift, guys, for game number 1, week 1, day number 2 of the PCS summer split. I'm super excited. You're talking about SEM9. You know, we've had a couple of nicknames that came up in prep about how, like, you know, SEM9, hopefully the first round robin, they're going to try not to go 0 and 9, but we will see. I'm rooting for the squad, you know, just because of that old SGMY pride that we've got here. Well, that I've got here. Don't know about you, Frank, but I will always root for my Singaporean and Malaysian team. So hopefully they can make this Draven work, but we will see.
Yeah, and when we look at this early game, it's really all about opposite ends. For Arashi, it's about ganking this bot lane, snowball around this Draven Nautilus. They are going to be spotted by a ward as they make their way in, but oh, look at the response. It's a 5-man collapse. Oh, hook onto Kino. Kino might be forced to flash, going to get taken low, will be able to flash over the wall, but Wako now coming under fire. It's looking like a disaster. It started out good. They get first blood, but now they're on the run. But can they kill Wako? This would be such a massive kill, but Arashi isn't able to finish it off. Wako will be able to get out of dodge, does have to burn his summoners, and that, of course, will mean it should be a pretty quick return trip coming in from both of these junglers. As we look at the AD carries, no summoners on either of them.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the replay for this. I like how we're seeing this early level cheese. I was wondering why Draven started out like pathing towards the river, but this is the reason. There's Wako and Kino. They've only now realized that S9 are trying to steal Rid, but it's a very fast collapse coming out from the squad of BYG. And of course, man, disadvantage. It's still a B5 versus 4. There's Gwen over in the top side, just unable to do anything. Not going to try to use the teleport or anything early on. I think the one saving grace for this is that the first blood does go over to both goes over to the jungle side. The kill landed on Wukong as well as the Viego, so it's not going to mean any type of super large snowball over in the bottom side just yet. There's Axon right there, kind of just posturing with the Nautilus. Has hit level 2. Wako still only level 1, so they've lost kind of that early pressure that you generally want to expect from the Lucian Nami, because Lucian Nami, like, you know, you're strong at 2, you're strong at 3, you're strong at 6, but they've lost that advantage for now.
Yeah, and one of the strengths of the SEM9 bot lane is, of course, you just have so much threat coming in with this Draven that kind of or helps negate some of the threat coming in from the Lucian. But now Lucian able to, you know, match the levels. The big thing, of course, is when you have such a crazy start to the game, Arashi is actually behind in EXP. Because he had to go for the recall since he was taken down so low. Whereas on the flip side, oh, well, we actually get to
What?
He got executed.
Oh no!
Surely. Yeah. This might be a bit of a long replay.
Yeah. It's like a 10-second long replay. This is just this is just shame.
He doesn't get executed, but since Grom attacks extremely slow, so it's very easy to just reset aggro. But because of that, Arashi is like super far behind.
Oh, no.
And Husha will have tempo advantage as the Viego, which, you know, usually you don't see put to good use because he's trying to full clear first couple of levels until he hits level 6. But Arashi will get spotted by the ward.
Yeah, this is actually a bit rough for the Wukong, because I think on 12-11, if memory serves me right, there was a bit of a change where Wukong actually... Oh, mid lane, hang on a sec. Both mid lane is really low on mana. There's Lazard actually with the Q and the W doesn't have quite enough mana for any more follow-up. So they're gonna both back off for now. Arya's
Action
down. Axon got warding in a bad spot right there. It's gonna use this hook out to safety, but that's a really expensive expensive ward that BYG are going to be able to pick up. Lukai again, below on mana over the top side, is gonna get pushed in by No Name on the Gwen. It's not that surprising early on. Sejuani, especially like, levels 1, 2, 3, it's not that easy for her to clear the wave. But she should be fine farming under tower. But going back to the Wukong changes, I believe there is a minor change on 12-11 on how he gets a faster jungle clear, and they're trying to kind of like nerf out the solo lane Wukong, so it's a bit damaging that he was just level 2 without being able to get the ground. But we'll see. There's a roam coming out from Arashi. They don't have ward control try though. Oh, top side 2v1.
Be a turn, and it looks like it will be Husha gets himself that kill up in that top side. Very easy execution. It's just No Name going a little bit, playing a little bit too far forward, and of course, we know Arashi's already down bot side, so playing without the pressure gets punished. But as a result, Arashi turns his attention over to the dragon, and it will be SEM9 getting on the board for objectives. They got first blood, and they got themselves a first dragon. This is probably as good of a start as you can get if you are a SEM9 fan.
Wow, that's really surprising to me because you're talking about how BYG actually had control of the bot side try, and the thing is, SEM9 weren't able to take that dragon fast at all. Like, it took them a bit of time to pick up the dragon from the pit, but BYG just entirely didn't notice. You look at the ward coverage, S9 has the ward in dragon pit as well as the one right side of the mid lane, so a bit surprising that BYG just either didn't pick up on that or just chose to give that one up completely. They are still ahead by almost 1,000 gold still, although Draven, he's about 10 CS up off of Wako right now, so I think that's going to be the biggest weakness on the BYG squad in the early game.
Yeah, and of course now we're starting to get a little bit more farm under our builds. I think when you're looking at Draven, once he of course hits that 100 CS mark, then you're really looking at a fat cash-in. It's all about this cash-in as we get moving towards this later portion of the early game, and there are 3 people down in this bottom lane. This could be a nice trap coming in from BYG. Nice hook lands, but now they're going to see Husha coming on in. Shadodos is still pretty healthy, but unfortunately his support, well, is not. So Action gets punished for his engage there, and very, very well read coming in from Beyond Game.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake, I think, from S9. I think they were so secure in the fact that they had River, botside River completely warded out that they just kind of forgot that, Viego could show up from their own side jungle. And BYG also had a pink ward over in the bot side bush, the first one. And I think at some point Driven also walked in there and he knew that the ward was there, and yet they still tried to engage that with the Nautilus Q being a bit too pushed far forward, not expecting that it could be a 3v2, so a bit of a mistake right there, but we're gonna see some rotations
just up in the top, and No Name punished yet again. He just dies back to back very, very quickly, and now look at this jungle. This is Viego at peak power. He's got a huge EXP advantage, 2 levels up onto Arashi. Arashi now hits level 6, but he's already 4-0. Yes, Arashi got first blood, but what has he done with it? Not a whole lot, because he had to take that early reset against Braum.
Yeah, this is really rough. S9 pre 10 minutes, they're already down 2,000 gold. We saw one fast game yesterday. I think it was the IMP versus Dewlish that ended pre 25 minutes. But generally on 12-11, 12-10, you don't expect to be seeing such fast games. The fact that BYG already 2,000 gold up off of SEM9 pre 10 minutes, this is pretty huge. Looks like a bit of a lane swap. There's some roams. Yeah, there's the Kino over towards mid. Husha should be able to pick up Shelly really easily. Has the Lukai Sejuani as well, so he should be able to get that one. Oh no!
Yeah, that's a possible pick. Action does land the hook, and Arashi goes in with the ultimate, but not going to get much out of it. Will be a disengage coming in from BYG as now Shiododo is here with the team. Action. Okay, that's a flash from Anami, so that's something to keep track of. Nami-less, Nami flashless, of course, very easy to pick off target enchanters. Yes, the durability patch does make them tankier, but they are still enchanters. After a certain point, you don't get levels, so the HP per level doesn't really help you out that much.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure there are solutions for S9 right now to try and shut down BYG's Viego. I mean, they've done a good job of trying to shut down the Lucian, Wako's Lucian, and you can tell that they had the idea to want to shut down Viego early based on how they went for that level 1
Yep.
cheese. But at this point, the way that the game is progressing, I'm not sure S9 will have any more easy answers. You're thinking about the Ari pickup, the way you want to play Ari is you want to be able to push out your lane, go for those side runs after you hit 6. And I don't think that S9 will be able to play this with the fact that he showed so far. He's on top lane again. Lee Kai
but the
just
heal?
up there. Wait, the turnaround
He
though.
missed. Oh no,
Q?
no name.
Oh.
Misses pretty much all of his ultimates, but Gwen is still way too strong against these tank champions. Finds a solo kill.
Lee Kai, I mean, he misread them. He just straight up miscalculated the 1v1. I think maybe it might have been a bit of a hard decision. We'll take a look at this first. So he does actually land the ultimate on the Sejuani at the start. So he does manage to get the root, but then No Name just doesn't care. He just continues snipping away at the poor Sejuani. We were talking 12-11. There are a couple of changes to Gwen. She actually got hit with a bunch of nerfs on this patch, so she gets less armor on her W. She also has a longer cooldown on her E. But I think in the 1v1, it just doesn't matter as much. It matters more in terms of those team fights, the extended skirmishes. 1v1, she's still pretty darn strong and still being picked a lot in leagues such as OPL, for example. So I feel like Lee Kai should have known how to play that one. Maybe he's just not had that much experience putting Sejuani around topside because he's for sure been playing Gwen.
Yeah, and Gwen's just one of those big staples now. There's definitely a bit of a contest in this river area, but not a whole lot to fight over, right? As Shiododo will be able to get himself a plate, but it's it'll probably chump change compared to the 2k gold lead coming in from BYG. They got themselves a second dragon that slows down the dragon stacking coming in from SEM9, which really is their one way in here because their composition does seem to be predicated on trying to force a fight around this dragon, and one of those ways is, of course, if you are able to get dragon stacking and force them to say, hey, you have to contest us on this third dragon, otherwise we're just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger and we can win through that soul. But that's not going to be the case here. Charm lands. It's going to be the route onto Minji as well, but I mean, look at the reinforcements. It's going to be 3 people coming over, chasing down Minji, and he is all by himself. Does have the Ari ultimate, but the CC is there, and that will be the side of SEM9 finally being able to respond back. However, maybe a top lane play. No Name, he's been punished.
Lee Kai, I think, yeah, he's just gonna ward the top side try just to see if there's a ward or anyone possibly in there. Husha, though, spending a lot of time up here with that red buff, trying to
Accent's making his way up.
Oh, there he goes. Nope. No, immediately no. And he backs out.
Well done coming in from BYG. Of course, they see Accent right on that ward, and immediately just go ahead, back off. Minji whiffs his Everfrost, and that was probably really key. In the end, doesn't matter a whole lot because Lazar still able to get out alive. He's got plenty of dashes himself, so well done from Lazar to at least be able to sidestep the Everfrost and make sure he doesn't go 1-for-1.
Yeah, I think the mid lane gank was very
Mhm,
smart for S9 because we were just talking about, what can the Ari do at this point, and also Minji up about 20 CS off of Lazar. I think this gives Lazar a bit more breathing room to try and
mhm,
push out this lane. Like, we usually don't expect Minji to have this much of a lane lead in general. So he's definitely been doing well for himself. I think
mhm.
S9, of course they would want to gank for the Draven, but if you take a look at the mini map, just BYG have absolute control over the river. Not just bot
Yep.
side, they've also got a whole bunch of river wards in the top side as well. Oh, no name. Gonna try that
And
once again. He's got just
oh,
one
another
completed
fight in
item.
this mid lane will be the stun landed by action, but more
4v2.
reinforcements. Yeah, he said it. 4v2, more reinforcements coming in from BYG this time around. Arashi hanging around top side. And Lee Kai, I mean, he knows what's up, right?
Oh no,
And they
does he
want,
though?
yes, they want to
No.
gank him when he goes for that cannon minion, and they
Lee Kai,
will be able to
no.
do so, securing it. But a lot of time to get that gank off, and now we are 1 minute until Dragon. How are these teams going to set up for this objective, Jenny?
Wow, okay, so 60 minutes in, this is the, I think, second one that BYG are going for. As you mentioned, they've just got absolute control over the river side. They've had the, have a ward there for the last couple of minutes. I'm not sure S9 really want to try this, especially not when they're
They don't
risking the
have team.
Draven.
Where's our
Draven
team?
cannot lose Adoration, so like,
Teleport
unless
coming
S9 show up really
in.
fast, there's the TP support coming in as well.
Okay, follow-up TP coming in as well. Lee Kai jumps in onto the backline and denies so much from SEM9, and the backline just obliterated. They will be able to answer back. Lazar does find a kill onto the backline, but it's only a Nami. And now BYG, they just run away with the fight. It's going to be an absolute ace for BYG as SEM9. They only find one.
Yeah, huge disaster for the squad of SEM9. That's just the power of the BYG team fight that we've been talking about. Lee Kai, I mean, sure, he might give up a couple of kills on the top side 1 versus 1. But the thing is, I mean, in the team fight, if you've got a composition such as the Sejuani and the Stylist can set up your illusion, you can just set Wako up to deal consistent damage. We're going to take a look at the replay once more already. It's going to be record. There's no name coming right from the side, but Lee Kai right in the middle of it, I think. Manages to land some pretty good CC.
Yeah, and this is also the power coming in from these triple melee solo laners, right? This
Yep.
entire top half of the map, you're going to be able to get that stun off very, very quickly from the Sejuani, and you're just able to chain CC incredibly quickly. But the other issue is because of how far Arashi is, there's not much of a far behind Arashi is. There's not much of a front line for Shiadodo to play around. So it's very easy for them to bypass that front line and get onto this Draven. And Draven now died twice. Not a lot of adoration stacks left. Even if he does get a kill later on, it's not going to be a big of a cash in, and it's way past that the snowball point that a Draven would like to have to actually win this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried for S9's composition because just going with this comp that they have, it's not necessarily that they have a timer on them, but the fact that Draven is now 0-2 and he's died twice, it's going to be really difficult for them to try to make some moves in the mid to late because sure, Gwen is going to scale. In theory, Gwen Wukong should be a very good frontline for your Draven, but if Draven can't dish out the damage, if he's behind in terms of items and gold, then that's not going to be very useful for S9 because they're also running the Ari in the mid lane.
Yeah.
So it's not really all that useful. If you've got the tank, but no damage to back it up right about now. Axon looks like,
Axon?
oh, no. Okay, so he doesn't face check, which is good because my heart nearly popped out of my chest right there if Axon does some weird, crazy face check again. But also the fact that, they're running the Nautilus. The strength of the Nautilus is that your R is pretty much a denial for one person, generally like one hyper carry on the enemy team. So sure, you can just R Wako out of the fight, but then you've got a Diego who's so far ahead. You've got the Sejuani running in your face. I mean, there just aren't any easy answers for S9.
Yeah, certainly. That seems to be the case right now. Will be tough for them to get back in, but they did have a solid early game. Maybe they can find a way to transition here. Of course, remember their coach from last split, now in the support role. Perhaps he has something cooked up. That's really all I've got to say for a comeback plan. They're
Yeah,
gonna have to.
yeah, we were hoping, right, that with Axon, their coach, coming in into the support role, we were kind of hoping maybe this means more strategies, better shot calling, just a better plan all around. So far, we haven't seen it just yet. Maybe it's just because it's the first week of PCS, but you know, I mean, I want to see more. I want to see this
Mhm,
work out for
mhm.
them. I really do.
Yeah, and when we come back to the win conditions of these teams, we talked about coming into the game. Well, BYG, they want to play around this top side. Snowball for this Viego. And for SEM9, you know, it's all about snowballing this Draven. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
success has been extremely
Debatable.
predicated on
Mm-hmm.
how well they've succeeded around those win conditions. And for SEM9, I don't think they even came close to succeed. Whereas for BYG, they over succeeded. I don't think you expect to get a 5-0 for Viego after a level 1 where the enemy jungler gets first blood, right?
What's that? Great in Harry Potter exceeds expectations. Yeah, that's BYG this game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And now look at Hushev's build. He's gone for the Gauntlet, which means that he's going to be incredibly hard to burst out and pick off. And I like this choice
Oh,
because you're just protecting your lead, but he does get picked off here. Does he have enough time to get over the wall? Yes, he is able to use that ultimate, but he
sheesh.
does get picked off in the end. And now SEM9 on the run. Can they find this next pick onto Minji? The hook doesn't land, but it does burn the flash. And now does the side of BYG look to continue to fight this? They are moving
Wait.
up Leakai, and now SEM9
No,
looks like
wait.
they're actually going to try starting out the Baron.
22-minute
Okay, just
Baron. So
kidding.
Husha's. Oh, thank God. I mean, of course, Husha's down. It is a 5v4. Okay, you've got Draven on your squad, but like, seriously, 22-minute Baron? I've got PTSD from this, man. I ain't watching them throw again. Well, they're not throwing. They're about 5k behind, but you know, they had like one good plan coming into this over here at Rid. They've actually been trying this out for about
It
30
was a good
seconds.
pick.
They were in this bush, they went down to the bottom bush, they went back to the top bush again, and there's the Draven ultimate being burned as well. It's a bit sad that the kill does go over to the Nautilus. I think they're trying to give Draven the execute with his R, and Axon, the hook doesn't
Yeah.
land, but as you said, manages to burn that crucial flash as well. So very well played by S9. As you can see, they don't have all that much ward coverage just
Oh,
because they
bye-bye,
can't
no name.
risk pushing. Not
One is
again!
immune, but immune from 3 people? I don't think so. We'll see how much damage they're able to put out. It's not enough, and now Lazar comes into... Well, I don't know if he's joining the party, but
I mean, it's the
joining the
teamwork,
funeral.
right? You want to, right? Like, you can't let your friend die alone, right? That's kind of lonely. Like, look, no one wants to die alone, Frank.
I don't know if he quite made it to his grave. Like if you look at the mini map, he actually dies quite a ways away from No Name. So not quite enough synergy. But now with both solo lanes dead, BYG turned their attention over to the Baron buff, and I mean already 5-6k gold lead. It's pretty impressive. BYG have known to always slow play these games and consistently build up those leads. Once they get into a power position, it's very difficult for them to let go, even if they do take a while to actually finish out the game.
Yeah, that was what we were wondering coming into today, right? Because BYG traditionally, especially in spring, have always played that type of slow game, the 1-3-1. But yesterday, when we saw them versus MFT, they were actually just skirmishing around early to mid. Not sure if it was just to match the pace of MFT, but we were wondering, is this the BYG style coming into summer? But you know, this game, they're going back to their roots. They're playing it very methodical. They're doing very well. I mean, they've managed to get 4 towers so far. After the tower plates were dropped, they picked up both heralds as well to help them with that push. Just very smart, slow play that should allow them to close this one out. They've got a bunch of kills onto Minji as well. He's now 4-1-3 with the 400 bounty. So yeah, as long as they don't make any major mistakes, they should have this game one in the bag.
Yeah, now this is going to be a devastating push for the side of BYG, because if you look on SEM9's composition, they're just not really a whole lot of wave clear. So it's very hard for him to. Oh my god, that's the hook burn in action. That is not a coach move.
No, supports please. Typical support. That's the solo queue support. Just sending it right there. Oh no.
I feel like that's straight back to the coach role for him, but now BYG looking for the killer. Looking for the kill at the end. Lazar does get bubbled up. That should be a kill, and Lazar will go golden. And that will keep himself alive, but now Arashi goes in. The flank coming in from No Name, but he might be able to claim one. Does go 1 for 1, but can he keep chasing for more? The root does come out from the silence, and now Minji is here to clean up the fight. And that's probably all she wrote. Action! Back in time to see the rest of his squad go down.
Yeah, this Nautilus. Yeah, they're just. Oh, he didn't get the Penta. What? Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
He stole it.
First game back, Jenny, and we get a quadra kill, but one short of the real highlight, which would have been the quad or
I
the
like
Penta.
how BYG, they actually, as a team, turned around. They didn't expect like, oh, 26 minutes were actually this far ahead, and it's still more than 10 seconds on the jump timers. They thought about it. There's a Ratchet. He knows he's got. Oh wait, they're going for the last.
Get the kill.
Had your KDA, boys. Make your stats